In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 different ways that you can double your law firm's revenue. Now, we know a thing about doubling law firms' revenue. In fact, in the last year and a half, 64 of our clients have doubled their revenue. And the average law firm that works with our company grows their law firm by about 81% last time we checked, and that's based on self-reported numbers. So we know how to grow law firms, and the way that we do it is through not just one simple thing. We work with lawyers to improve many different aspects of their business. And in this video, I'm going to take you through 5 of those areas so that you can get the same effect as well. Now, any one of these things that I'm going to teach you can double or even more your law firm. And we have lawyers that have gone up to 22x. So let's dig in. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about today is based off of a concept from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, in that book, he talks about a concept called the aggregation of marginal gains, and it originates from the British cycling team of all places. Back in the 1900s, the British cycling team was terrible. Bicycle companies didn't even want to sell them bikes because they thought it would actually lower their sales. Now, that all changed in 2003 when they hired a new performance coach, and the performance coach introduced something called the aggregation of marginal gains. Instead of just trying to pedal faster, what he did is he tried to find these little micro improvements in everything that they did. They tested different mattresses. They tested all the different fabrics of all the different clothes that they could potentially wear and all the different helmets, tested different massage gels. They even hired a surgeon to teach the riders how to properly wash their hands so they wouldn't get sick. And all of these little micro improvements led to an explosion of the British cycling team. Over the next 10 years, they won several world championships. So what does that have to do with your law firm? How many times have you said to yourself, oh, if I could just get more leads, I'd be able to grow my law firm up? There's a lot of things that you can do that is not just getting more leads. So let's go to move number 1, follow-up. Put in a follow-up system. There is a statistic that only 3% of people in any given market are actually ready to make a purchase. That means that 97% of people who will eventually buy or hire a company are not yet ready to do so. By following up with all those people who visit your website and call your office and come in for a consultation, you're creating more opportunities for them to see you and know you and like you and trust you. When I was in college, I used to transfer VHS tapes to DVD. I used to take these big signs and I would write VHS to DVD and I would put my phone number and I would go out and I would put the signs by the side of the road. And rush hour would come around 5 o'clock and I'd start getting all these phone calls. And every person said the same thing. They said, oh, wow, I've been looking for somebody to transfer my VHS tapes to DVD. I'm going to go home, I'm going to count how many tapes I have, and I'm going to call you back. But at the end of the day, nobody called me back. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just a fluke. I'll do it again tomorrow. A few weeks went by and nobody called me back. So I actually wrote down all their names and informations, and after about 2 or 3 weeks, I was kind of frustrated. I picked up the phone and I called the first person and I said, hey, we talked a few weeks. You said you were going to transfer your VHS tapes to DVD, but you never called me back. What happened? And one by one, every single person said the same thing. They said, oh my God, I was looking for your number, but I couldn't find it. I went back and the sign was gone. Or thanks for reminding me. I totally forgot. Let's meet up and do it right now. That weekend, I made $5,000. That is the power of follow-up. Forrester did a study specific to law firms, and they found that 56% of people that hired a law firm did so after the 5th contact with the brand. Do you even give your potential clients 5 opportunities to come in contact with you? Then it's time to put in a follow-up system. Now, implementing a follow-up system is actually really easy, especially if you have a marketing company. If you're running Google ads or if you're running social media ads, all they have to do is put a little piece of code, oftentimes called a pixel, on your website. When somebody hits your website, then the platform, either Google or Facebook or Instagram or whatever you're using, is able to track that user, and then they can show ads specific for your law firm to that user when they go to other places on the internet. Now, another type of follow-up is what happens after somebody has already reached out, but you weren't able to talk to them. We recently ran 2 social media campaigns for 2 different criminal defense lawyers. Now, we ran the exact same ads. One was in Florida and one was in New York. Each campaign produced approximately 300 leads, but the results were very different. The first attorney didn't get any cases. The second attorney got 300 leads as well, but he signed up 75 cases. I called the first attorney and I said, what happened? How did you not get any cases out of 300 leads? And he said, well, I called, but the leads weren't any good. I couldn't get any of them on the phone. It happens all the time, right? It's probably happened to you. So I called the other attorney and I said, how did you turn 300 leads into 75 cases? I talked to the other attorney that we ran this for. He said he couldn't get anybody on the phone. The attorney just kind of chuckled a little bit and he was like, yeah, nobody answers the phone the first time. I have this really cool system I call 3 times 3 ways. What's 3 times 3 ways? And he said, when somebody contacts our firm, they get a text message. If we don't hear back from them, they get a phone call. And then if we don't hear back, they get an email. And then the next day, if we haven't heard back, they get another text, another call, and another email. And then if we still haven't heard back, they get another text, another call, and another email. And using this system, he was able to bring in 75 cases, while this other attorney who didn't do any follow-up didn't bring in a single case. Another type of follow-up is to use something called by-the-way marketing. Now, by-the-way marketing is where you follow up with consults who didn't hire you. You send a text message that has the following format. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story. By the way, value. So let me give you an example. We have a client, his name's Lance, and he had a lead come into his office, but the lead didn't hire him. So the next day, Lance texted the lead and he said, hey, this is attorney Lance. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story. By the way, because your case is in front of Judge so-and-so, the best defense for you would probably be XYZ. When the lead got that text message, he picked up the phone, called Lance, and retained him. This story isn't just unique to Lance. This happens over and over and over again. Combine follow-up with providing additional value to the lead, then you're going to get way more people to sign up. So hopefully by now you can see why follow-up is such an important part of your law firm's marketing campaign. Now, the second way that you can double your law firm's revenue without getting more leads is to make a better offer. Most lawyers are commodities. A commodity is really just something you can get anywhere, kind of like this calculator right here. You can get this calculator at Walmart, you can get it at Target, you can get it on Amazon, and unfortunately, most lawyers are commodities. People don't know the difference between you and the 5 other lawyers that they find on Google. Now, one advantage that you can give yourself is to make an offer that is so good that they'll feel stupid saying no. But let's say you're interviewing babysitters to watch your kids. Babysitter A says, okay, I will watch your kids and I charge $8 per hour. And babysitter B says, I'll watch your kids, but first what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cook them a healthy meal, do all the dishes, play games all night so that they're not gonna be on their screen, I'm gonna read them a bedtime story and make sure that they're in bed before you get home, and then I'm gonna straighten up your house. By the way, I charge $12 per hour. Which babysitter would you hire? Almost unanimously, everybody says babysitter B, despite the fact that babysitter B is 50% more expensive. Babysitter B has created an irresistible offer, an offer so good that you'd be stupid to say no. How can you create that same effect for your law firm? An offer consists of 4 parts: dream outcome, perceived likelihood of achievement, time delay, and effort and sacrifice. The first part is the dream outcome. What is the actual result that the client wants? Not what are you selling. The bigger the result and the more clearly you articulate this result, the better the outcome is going to be. Now, the second component is perceived likelihood of achievement. What is the likelihood that they actually think that you're going to be able to deliver this result to them? The next thing is time delay. How long is it going to take you to deliver the result? There's certain things that are out of your control, like court delays and things like that. You have to take those things out of the equation. Everyone are all subject to the same time delays. But what can you do to expedite the process? And then the fourth component is effort and sacrifice. How much effort are they going to have to put forth, and how much are they going to have to sacrifice in order to get that dream outcome? If you can think about those 4 components, then you will come up with an amazing offer. Another thing to think about is what problems are created as a result of hiring our law firm. So for example, let's say you're a family law attorney and somebody hires you for a divorce and they have kids. The divorce is probably going to be very difficult emotionally for their child. So what if you could work out a deal with a child therapist to help support the child while the divorce is going on? If you make a better offer, you will double your revenue because twice as many people will hire you because it's such a great offer. Now, the third way that you can double your law firm's revenue, or even more, is to get better at sales. Most lawyers don't like to think of themselves as salespeople, but as Mark Cuban says, sales cure all. If you don't sell, then nobody will hire your law firm. I want you to think about all the clients that you've helped and think about all the great results that you've gotten. And I want you to ask yourself this question: are your clients and your previous clients, are they in a better situation now as a result of you having done everything that you could do? And if the answer is yes, then you have a moral obligation to sell your services to as many people as possible. Don't believe the lie that the media and the government and Hollywood has portrayed that when you sell something to somebody, you're doing something bad to them. Selling is serving. I want to teach you the easiest way to get better at sales by taking something that I call the airplane test. A few years ago, my wife and I went on vacation for our anniversary and we wanted to go to Cancun. So I called a travel agent and I said, hey, listen, we want to go on this amazing vacation. A couple days later, the travel agent comes back and she has this entire presentation for us. And she's like, okay, this is the resort that you should go to. It's right on the beach. You have your own plunge pool in your room. You have your own butler. There's 7 restaurants. It's all you can eat, all you can drink. It's adults only. We have 3 kids, so that's a big plus. You get your own cabana on the beach. They come serve you food and drinks, and it's absolutely incredible. But do you know the one thing that this travel agent didn't tell us about? It was the airplane ride, because the airplane ride sucks. The vehicle, the airplane, is the thing that takes them to the resort. Your legal service, the thing that you sell, is the vehicle. Whether it's a divorce, whether it's a DUI defense, whether it's a bankruptcy, whether it's a will or a trust, whatever it is, that is the vehicle that takes them to the resort. Nobody wants a bankruptcy, but they want financial freedom. Nobody wants a divorce, but they want to move on with their life. Nobody wants to sue somebody because they were injured, but they want to make sure that their medical bills are paid. If you stop selling your legal services and start selling the resort, then you will get so many more clients. Talk to them about what is it that they want, how do they get it, and most importantly, what will their life be like after they get it. Your sales are going to go through the roof because at the end of the day, people want the resort. Now, if you get better at sales, you will double or even more your law firm's revenue. I've seen it over and over and over again, especially if you really focus on what it is that the client wants. Now, the fourth way that you can double your law firm's revenue is to find strategic partners. A strategic partner is anybody that is selling products and services to the same audience as you. In the family law example, a child therapist could be a strategic partner. One of the easiest ways to form strategic partners is to make them part of my offer. Let's go back to the family law example. Say you partner with a therapist and you say to the therapist, every single client that I get, I'm going to give them 2 free therapy sessions with you so they can get some support while they're going through their divorce. Not only do I want you to comp the 2 therapy sessions, but I also want you to send me referrals whenever somebody is going through a divorce. Sound fair enough? So now what you've done is you made a more valuable offer for yourself, and you've also given value to your strategic partner because you're sending them business. You will get more leads and more clients this way strictly because you're trading leads back and forth. Now imagine that you do this with 3, 4, 5, 10 vendors. So how do you come up with a list of strategic partners? Think about what are the services that people need before they hire a lawyer, during the time that they're working with you, and after they finish their case, and who are the vendors, and start reaching out to them. Now, my favorite way to get strategic partners comes from an attorney named John Fisher, and he talks about a concept called streaking. What he does is every single day, he'll send at least 1 email to 1 potential strategic partner and talk about how they can work together. Now, the reason this is called streaking is because he does it every single day. And once you build up a habit, once you've done it 5 days in a row, 10 days in a row, 15 days in a row, 20 days in a row, it makes it much more likely that you're going to continue to do it because you don't want to break the streak. Imagine you do this every single day for 365 days. You'll have sent out 365 emails to 365 potential strategic partners. Are you going to have 365 different businesses sending you business every single day? Probably not. What if you have just 10%? At the end of a year, you have 36 different businesses. By doing this, you can explode your business without ever spending any money on ads. You will very, very easily double your law firm's revenue. Now, the 5th way to double your law firm's revenue is to get more reviews. Now, I can hear your eyes rolling from here. Yeah, I know I got to get more reviews. Well, let me show you exactly why this leads to doubling or more your law firm's revenue. Bazaar Voice Network did a study and they found that any business, including law firms, once they hit 200 reviews on Google, their revenue increases by 44%. Why is that? Well, first of all, everybody looks at reviews. And when you have more reviews that have words, phrases, keywords, and synonyms in them, then you are more likely to rank highly. How do you get words, phrases, keywords, and synonyms in the reviews? The number one reason that people don't leave reviews in the first place is because you don't ask. The second reason is because you ask, but you put too much of the work on the reviewer. And then it's on them to go find where to leave the review and figure out what to say. And there's too many steps. The third thing is they don't have a reason. They don't really understand why you need the review. First of all, remove all the hurdles. You need to give them a reason why you need the review, and then give them the questions that they can answer. The easiest way to do it is to send questions to your clients that they can answer in their reviews. So you can say, often people want to leave a review, but they're not exactly sure what to say. We have found that the most impactful reviews answer the following 5 questions. Number 1, what was the problem that you had before you hired our law firm? Number 2, why did you pick our firm over all the other firms in the area? Number 3, what did we do for you? Number 4, what were the results? And number 5, how did these results impact your life? If you send an email with all of that information, including a link directly to where they can leave the review, you will get lots and lots and lots more reviews, which will ultimately grow your law firm's visibility because you rank higher in Google, and because you have better reviews, they'll actually resonate with the reviews and they'll pick up the phone and call you. You're going to get more chances to sell and present your offer and do all the things that we already talked about. Getting more reviews is absolutely one of the easiest ways to double or more your law firm's revenue. I hope you found this video helpful. We've seen lawyers who have exploded their law firm's revenue just by using one of these strategies. So if you use all of them, then you'll do even better. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, or if you try any of these, let me know how it works out. Until next time, I will see you guys soon.